Right. So after a nice bout of demon slaying, let's take that lady's advice and head to the Yeshu monk. We're going to show him the talisman, right before realizing that I need to get this camera angle before showing him the talisman.
What can I do for you, stranger?
Why do you call me stranger?
I feel that you're not from hereabouts. You come from far away. Far, far away. Although your physical body is close.
Oh. Looking for a power rod.
A power rod. I haven't been asked for one of those for centuries. So, you're intending to do battle with the Fiend. Be careful. Darkness can prove to be more powerful than light.
Have you got a power rod or not?
It's not that simple. It's easy to make a power rod if you know the art. What's difficult to find is what gives it its power, its energy.
What's that?
Part of what you want to destroy. In your case, you'll need a piece of skin or a tuft of hair from a demon. You don't need a lot. A mere scale would suffice. But without this sample, I cannot make a power rod.
Keyword sample. I'll try to find a piece of a demon. Why, we just happen to have that corpse sample.
Where did you find this? It's extremely rare for a demon to leave a trace. Yes, I believe this will do. All I have to do is put it inside. Now your power rod is ready for use.
Okay. How do I use it?
You use it like a waver gun, but it's a much more powerful weapon.
How convenient.
I did very little. The hardest is yet to come. May Vaya Grimuga have pity on you.
So we get a power rod. And it being more powerful than a waver gun is not actually true. It has no effect on human enemies or robots. In fact, all it can be used to do is kill demons. Here, we're going to buy one very important thing, the life potion. And I figured I'd demonstrate the stat thing I talked about when it came to the fighting game mechanics. Those I'll take advantage of in certain demon fights. They come to find out later that I did not actually need those at all. If you follow, like I said, my AI exploit strategy, you really don't have to mess with your strats, your stats, your statistics whatsoever. Alright, keeping this as paper. with that, we're done. And we never have to come back here again. But, if you'll recall, I made mention of a certain beggar. Or wait, am I going to go there yet? I can't remember. I've been doing speedrun practice runs, believe it or not, of this game. So I've been working on my routing a bit better. Ah, yes, I am, because I realized it. But if you'll recall, outside of the restaurant where we met with Telis, who I don't know if she was a demon or not at that point, your guess is as good as mine. However, I mentioned that the beggar outside was the single most important NPC in the game. We're now going to see why he's the single most important NPC in the entire game. And it has to do with us buying a life potion. And it's also the key to defeating the final boss on hard mode. Or, well, any difficulty for that matter. And I guess I just ruined it. That's why he's the most important. So, you give him money, and he basically asks you to bring him a life potion, and he will reveal a location that has been hidden for millennia! Thanks, stranger, I knew you wouldn't forget me. Here's your reward. Close to the Yonpur Temple, there's a green island. Go there and look. For the 4th star, the one that is hidden from the public gaze, use this pass on the door and find what you seek. May Viagramuka look upon you with grace and... yeah, whatever. Give me the beggar's pass. So he gives you the beggar's pass. Remember what he said, by the way, because nobody will ever repeat those instructions again. Not even the beggar. So, for now, we cannot do anything with that. We're off to Den's apartment. Assuming I can get into the correct elevator. So, here we are. What a glorious murder scene. But we're going to ignore the blood on the wall. We're going to get caught in the door instead. If you come in here, there's a very, very important picture, Din's wedding picture. Examining it will reveal the date, the most important number being 7213. Inside his cupboard here, we're going to find some double waiver ammunition. The reason why I make note of this is that if you did not acquire the reincarnation spell from the temple in Kalasar, if you did not do that side quest, this would be, or that cabinet would be the place where you acquire the reincarnation spell. And another interesting thing is that if you come to this room without the reincarnation spell, you will not be allowed to leave the apartment until you pick it up. It is a mandatory item. It's shut. Well, I know it's shut. I want you to open it. Oh, it's locked. Ah. Mana potion, medkit, money. Aw, man, Din's death was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm a rich man. Make another save game here. Now, if you'll recall, there was a message in Din's office that said, "Truth hides behind the tiger." Here we have a statue of a snow tiger. Let's just push that aside and find a switch. Switch reveals a safe. And gee, I wonder what the combination could be. Could be Den's birthday, or the only other item in here that gave us a 4-digit number. So the code is 7213. It will always be 7213. And inside we have a map, a security HQ passkey, which causes me to realize that my inventory is full. The maximum number of inventory slots, I believe, is 18. I just get rid of all of that stuff. We don't need it. Very quickly check our stats. Once again, the cancel button is the same button as the jump. So now we pick up the pass for Security HQ and a Transcan tape, which finally lets us interact with the Transcan device. This is the Omikron equivalent to a television, this weird fountain thing. Use the Transcan tape.
Okay, I hope this thing is working. Alright, me and my partner, Kale, have been investigating a series of unexplained murders for several weeks now. But we discovered something awful. The assassins. The demons! I know it sounds crazy, but they take the souls of their victims before they rip them to shreds and kill them. Because they look like humans, they can mix in with the general population, waiting for the right moment to attack. Their leader is a policeman. Commandant Gandar himself. I think they're on our trail. I think they know we've discovered the whole story. Our only hope is to find some kind of proof of their existence so that we can alert the authorities. Tonight, Kale and I are going out to bring back that proof. If something happens to us, Agent Tarek 511 is aware of our situation. He'll testify in our favor. May the Supreme Being have pity on our souls.
So, alert... whatever.
And the fallen angels took to flight, transformed into fierce beasts, and fell upon their prey.
Tarek!
I didn't know Den had left such a poignant message before dying. So nice of you to bring back the cassette for me. I do so hate leaving traces behind.
You're the one who killed Anissa!
She saw a demon. She had to die. If you hadn't been so lucky, the same thing would have happened to you.
That means you also killed Den!
You're smarter than you look, but maybe just a little too smart. You were becoming an embarrassment. You even had the guts to enter Gandar's lair. My master ordered me to take your souls.
What happened?
After his death, Kale's body was sent into another dimension to trap the soul of a video game player.
God.
Your soul. One of my brothers was supposed to collect it as soon as it returned to Omikron, but you escaped. Now the time has come to correct that little error.
You mean Omikron?
A game? Do I look like a game? Everything you see around you is real. Your computer is just a gateway to our world. Your body is still in your world, but your soul has been here ever since you agreed to occupy Kale's body. You think you're safe behind your computer screen? You'd better think again. I will take your soul. You will die and be damned for all eternity. Come, little human. Come and play with me.
I can't help it. Oh, I love this game. Alright, another fist fight. The demons are actually capable of combos the player is not. And no, it's not a control thing. It's simply the game has a or I would say seems to have a hard limit. And whoops, the fight's over. Now, as you can see, my attack is still boosted by the potion, but my dodge has fallen. Look, I have no explanation for it. It's just weird. Sometimes it has to do with the number of fights you engage in, but some stats stay and some stats don't. I have a feeling it might be a bug, or whatever. But back into in-universe stuff, Kale just killed 2 demons with his bare hands. Just think about that for a moment. The Wolfman busts into your house, and you just take to fisticuffs, or you just square up, and you start punching it in the face. That's what you do in that situation. After getting a power rod. But alright, since Kale is feeling more empowered than ever before, he decides he's just gonna raid Security HQ. Let's go! If you're wondering what the effect is, it's raining. And all it is it's just a 2-dimensional image layer. You can tell as I enter Security HQ. That's why it kind of moves with the camera. That's all it is. It's just a filter on the camera to achieve that effect. So, we're now going to head down to the maintenance level. And despite the fact that the demons control the central computer and they could just as easily order the mecha guards to kill Kale on sight, if they're not going to. At least not yet. This panel controls access to the door. We use the pass that we got from Den's safe. Thanks, Den. So, this switch controls whatever this is. And this switch opens the window. Because I guess you would need to do that. For some reason. Maybe it's an emergency exit. Your guess is as good as mine. I have a theory that it probably just has to do with a level designer trying to figure out some way to get the player down into the water below. You decide. But after a brief swim, in which Kale is exercising actually fairly good freestyle form, we're going to climb out, and we're going to find an electric cable. Right. Now, dear viewer, what on earth do you think we do with that electric cable? I'll tell you, because obviously that's the point. You, for some reason, decide to take it to this box and use it on the box. And I check it multiple times because, no, it just doesn't say anything new. Kale says, let's see what happens when I cross-connect these power controls. Sure, let's just do that. And for some reason, that turns off the vent and the fans and unlocks that door. For some reason, that does that. What, you didn't figure that out? And right here I'd perform a sick jump and then decide not to press my luck any further. Ah, heck, why not? Let me tell you, working on a speed run for this game in my free time, practicing those jumps to do that perfectly and just go through that room at a full sprint, boy, that's taken a lot of attempts. But I've successfully managed it several times now. So, there's an elevator down there. I guess the demons use it. And, right here, you really want to make a save game. Speaking for myself anecdotally, the game has a bad habit of locking up and freezing and crashing. Those are 3 different things. And, It happens during this boss fight and the next boss fight. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. So here we are, Gandahar's office. Going to boost our stats once again. Hi! So this is actually not Commandant Gandahar. This is just the demon you encountered at the beginning. It's just here. And also, where did it come from? I guess it came from the vent. It rode up the same elevator you did. And there's the fight. So, okay, this is 3 demons Kale has managed to kill with his bare hands. God, if I were Kale, I'd just leave, and let's go hit the frickin' lottery. Maybe have a beer with God next. Because if there are demons, you suspect that angels must exist as well. Quick note here. I'm keeping Anissa's paper. Yes, that note, that piece of... It's just a piece of paper. That is a key item. If you do not have it, you will not be allowed access to this room. I probably should have said that beforehand, but you need to go through the ventilation section with Anissa's paper. If you do not have it, you cannot get to Commandant Gandahar's office. It's weird. Even if you know the passcode, by the way, even if you've read it, you still have to carry the physical item with you. Now right here, I get a little bit forgetful. There's a switch underneath the pass key to the Yawnpor section, or region. And we get to this! Reading Anissa's paper reveals the code. 4th of the 2nd, 3rd of the 5th, last of the 1st, 2nd last of the last. And yes, I have memorized that. May Viagramuka have pity on me. So we're in hell now.
So, here you are, Nomad soul. The one who holds the fate of Omikron in his hands.
Are you talking to me?
You are courting great peril, Nomad soul. I hope you can save this universe from the hell of chaos.
You're crazy.
Accept this modest gift. 3 interlinking rings. The first 2 will save your life. The 3rd will bring you back here.
What do you mean? What he means is that he's going to create a checkpoint. If you die in this next section, you'll be revived here, and the section will reset, and you will consume a save ring. So, that's the power rod, and it works, just as they said, like a waiver gun. This is the only weapon you can actually use that is, this is the only weapon that will kill demons or demonic entities. If you want to know what that is, that's supposed to be a computer screen portal. That's literally what that green thing is. That's how they're kidnapping other video games. I can't. It's so dumb. It's the one, and I'm showing here that shooting the demon there does nothing.
Welcome to my lair, human. I've been waiting for this moment to arrive. You've got something that belongs to me, and I'd like to get it back. Your soul.
So this is the real Commandant Gandahar in demon form. And the fight is mostly just circle strafe and shoot him in the head. His only weak spot is his head. And that's it. That's the fight. As long as you're circle strafing at full speed at the maximum distance the room will allow you to, he actually cannot hit you. Thank God we stopped the video game. Poor God. Oh. If it hasn't become clear, I genuinely just revile. Hey, Okami, what difficulty are we on? Thanks, I was just wanted to make sure. But I have a revulsion every single time this game's story makes a reference to it being a game. Oh, and your reward for killing a demon this time is $600. Awesome. Again, why? I don't know. And this random pool of water brings us back to the city. Sure.
Congratulations, I'm impressed. To tell you the truth,
Oh,
I
gee,
didn't think you'd
thanks.
succeed.
Do I know you?
Okay, there's no time to lose. Your adventures will draw every cop in town. The pass you found in Gandar's office will give you direct access to Jaunpur. There, a big guy named Yab will be waiting for you at the temple. He will lead you to someone who wants to talk to you. Be careful. The militia may already be on your tracks.
Alright, and with that, that's a neckbud done. All we have to do is show off the gate to Jaunpur. Sorry, Jaunpur. These objects are no longer of any use to me, I'll get rid of them. So, Anissa's paper goes away, Den's map goes... All of the notes that were important for all of the rest, for the final section of Anekba, they get discarded here. Which is actually nice. That's a good thinking on the designer's part. And this is a little snafu of mine. I forget that the placement in the city here is actually closer to the security HQ. And we should take a car, or a slider, to the gate to Jaunpur. But just remember, kids, your local portal to hell lies in your sewer system. Although I suppose that's more fitting than I'm actually giving it credit. So hey, 3 demons dead to the fists, and 1 grand demon dead to the gun. Kale's on fire! This is the gate to Jaunpur. All we have to do is show it to the Mecha Guard. Let's do this. I was beginning to wonder if anyone was going to touch my body. The Mecha Guard certainly had my description. So it shouldn't be any problem now. Anyway, I've always wanted to be a nurse. Oh, great! I'm so happy David Cage thinks that I'm a creeper. So, little note there. We haven't switched bodies up to this point, and there is no explanation for how you're in a new body. You can't interact with Kale's body, and, we don't... If you've never had this happen to you, there's no explanation. For those of you who don't know, in this universe, or in this setting, whenever you die, whoever touches your dead body, you possess their soul. But that explanation you won't get unless you die already. So hey, random. In fact, I'm actually going to go back to the Telis fight, because there's a specific reason. And I'll give you the real explanation for why that happened. We're also doing this because the body you get from this fight, or rather losing this fight intentionally, is a better body than the one you leave with under normal circumstances. The Kale death scene is completely unavoidable. So alright, let's do this differently. This time, let's just stand there. Should be noted that the demons all have a number of unique moves that the player cannot do. It's actually kind of cool. If you actually manage to see them. So this is what happens when Kale dies. Or if Kale dies. Here. Specifically here. I'm still alive, in someone else's body! Hey, that seems like the correct reaction to have. Kale isn't moving, I don't think I can do any more for him. No, he's dead. He is destined to die. So in our inventory we have a gem, and we are now in the body of Xiao, who is a thief. Probably has the single worst writing for a thief I've ever seen, because she has a defining characteristic in that she has a tattoo on one of her eyes. Or sorry, a distinguishing characteristic, which would make her very easy to identify by the police. But whatever, it's a fantasy. So this dialogue I'm mostly going to skip until I get to a certain place.
My name... I have come to...
What does it matter if I die? It's only a video game.
You're wrong. This universe is just as real as yours. I know you're playing a video game in another dimension far away from here. But what you experience here is no game. It's reality. Our reality. And you risk your life every second. The demons are looking for you. They want your soul.
All this is just the same again, skipping through it.
The Omikron video game is a trap created by Astaroth himself. It's bait to attract the player's souls into our dimension.
The dialogue I'm looking for is the one that... We're gonna get the explanation for why we're still alive in a new body. What happens when I die? Why do I change bodies?
The body you occupy is not really yours. It's just a vehicle for your soul. When you die, you reincarnate into the body of the first person to touch your
So there is your explanation. Mind you, you do not get this explanation until... Or you only get this explanation if you die here. So, how... this is just skipping ahead. I'm going to show off that we're fighting as this chick again. And the reason why I keep this in is because I'm at initiate level of fight skill. Specifically to show off that you can still completely trivialize the AI. Sometimes they'll just let you hit them, and it's completely random and up to those statistics. Xiao is actually a better fighter because she has faster speed. That has to do, that's why, again, think about it like an RPG. Point being. So there you go. So it's still on hard mode. And like I said, this is where I shut off. Like I said, I'm at initiate fight level. So doesn't really matter in terms of the fight itself. But you don't get the explanation for the body switching unless you die against the first demon as Kale. But whenever you die as Kale against the Mecha Guard, note, the only way to see that cutscene is to live as Kale for the entire time. He'll then say, or I guess you will say, when you take the body of the nurse, oh, thank God she touched me. Even though you're not supposed to know that. Or you would not have any way of knowing that. So, I don't know. It's a sign that the writer was really not thinking about that. Whoever wrote those lines. It's, So now we're going to do this fight at initiate level. The fights don't change. They just become a little bit more annoying because they, like I said, as far as the exploit goes, it's all about knocking them to the ground and repeating that over and over again. And sometimes it can just be completely random. It is what it is. But hey. So that's Brother Demon dead to an initiate, who's also a thief and not a fighter. Skipping ahead to the Commandant Gandahar fight. Oh, thanks for reminding us.
Something that belongs to me, and I'd like to get it back. Your soul.
None of the cutscenes change depending on the character you've chosen. And it should be noted that the stats do actually influence your ability to play in the first-person shooter sections, actually. But the only one that matters here is speed. If you take, if you increase your speed by a certain means. Oh, I showed this off because, hey, look, we got a freeze. Speaking of, note I mentioned that when we did this as Kale. Let's try that again. But win this time. I may actually put up a brief section of how to handle freezes and crashes in this game. You need to do a specific sequence and mess around in the task manager. You essentially have to end the process for the game's runtime to successfully get it to run again without restarting your computer. Ish. Which, yes, that does sound as fun as you think it does. So with that, Xiao is all caught up with where Kale is, except this time we're not going to die. Hey, Okami, what difficulty are we on? Oh, do I not check this time? Give me a minute, I'll check in a second. But next episode you'll be seeing, we'll be in the body of Xiao and we'll be heading to Jaunpur. But before that, this will just be making a save game. Before that, I wanted to also show off, for those of you who are curious, what exactly happens if you die as either Kale or Xiao or really anybody during the Tarek demon fight. Well, if you die there, Any minute now. There we go.
Again.
What happens if you fail here? And unfortunately, I had full health when I made the save, so hey. But hey, it gets a chance for you can see the moveset of this demon guy. He doesn't actually get any special moves. He mostly does the same moves the player's capable of. I guess because he's a Grandmaster of Tar. Alright, so what happens when we die here? We get another cutscene. And this time, instead of a thief that walks in and interrupts it, we instead get the body of this chick. Who's wearing... I have no clue what she's wearing. But I'm still alive in someone else's body. Why is the only line that's different is the one when you die as Kale against the Mecha Guard? Whatever. She does not get a special item though. But those are her stats, and that's her description. Next up, you'll be seeing us go to Jaunpur, where we'll have adventures with David Bowie Digital Ghost.